Boo! I'm the ghost. And for you, my viewer, what is the worst SpongeBob episode? People have different opinions. They are humans. But usually, the same names come over and over. A Pass for Gary, One Course Meal, To Love Barry, Red for Squidward, Develop a Lodge, Squid's Visit, Ink Lemonade. Okay, there are a lot of bad episodes. But one I think has taken the prize for being the absolute worst of them all is SpongeBob, You Are Fired. This was really low on IMDb, and sure, there are episodes that are even lower, but this one is still an abysmal atrocity. I'll go over the plot and episode, and then I'll talk about all the problems this episode has, because there are a lot. We start this episode with filler, and that is something you'll see a lot on this episode, and on this video. As an example, SpongeBob has never put napkins on a Krabby Patty, yet here he does. For those extra seconds of him removing the napkins, tossing them out, putting the napkins, you get the idea. More filler, no one cares about our SpongeBob cleaning and working on the Krusty Krab, because we already know that he works at Krusty Krab, we don't need this, thank you. And Mr. Krabs tells SpongeBob that he's fired, because Mr. Krabs can't pay a nickel. That is right, Mr. Krabs fired him, his only and best fried cook, for a nickel. I mean, sure, he sold his soul for 67 cents. That is horrible, but those were 67 cents, not a nickel. And in case you don't know what a nickel is, are 5 pennies. Some more filler of SpongeBob crying and crying and crying and crying, like he has nothing worse to be living for. And now we get political. And SpongeBob gets depressed because, you know what? He doesn't have a job. Patrick finds SpongeBob knowing that he got fired, and after a joke that wasn't funny in the first place, Patrick tells SpongeBob that it's fun to be unemployed. Patrick shows him all the things he does to survive without money, like annoy Squidward for him to throw vegetables at him, or go to Sandy's street dump for some free food, making fun of the unemployed, real people who get help from the government. Sandy tells SpongeBob to get it together, to find a job, and so he does. And am I the only one who finds kinda awful these writers in their job making fun of people who don't have jobs? I mean, if you think about it that way, it's kinda sick. And besides, the subjects of unemployed has been done better and funnier in the episode Can You Spare a Dime of 11 minutes that didn't need the 22 minutes we're seeing this. A classic season 3 episode, so much better. SpongeBob then does the same things in 4 restaurants. Patties. A sausage patty, a pizza patty, a burrito patty, and a noodle patty. And come on, really? You could take the bun out of the pizza, same with the burrito, and even the noodles. It's just bread, and you can take it off and sell the pizza. And wow, you guess what it's time for? A contradiction in the same episode. SpongeBob goes home to prepare a meal to Gary, and does it perfectly, without turning it into a patty. So basically what we just saw was useless garbage. Thank you, writers. After that, SpongeBob gets kidnapped by a sushi restaurant to work there. And so does every single owner kidnap him. Because they want to, I don't know. When suddenly a patty kicks everyone asses and lets the winner guy go and gets run by a boss. Wow. I think I've seen that before. And the patty was Squidward. All the time. Mr. Krabs is sorry, Squidward kinda too, and SpongeBob in the last minutes of the episode is rehired. And now Nico problem is done. And that was SpongeBob You're Fired. So, let's begin with the problem, shall we? Needless to say, that if I made a video about a whole episode, it's because this one is abysmal. And it is! For a few reasons, such as a bad portrayal of unemployment, and very cruel jokes, contradictions, boring pacing, and overall, bad jokes. And you know, SpongeBob is a cartoon, a comedy cartoon, and if you are here for a comedy, then it should have good jokes. This episode doesn't. The one that made me actually laugh was the taco guy eating SpongeBob. And that made me laugh like, And then I went back to having a straight face all the way till the episode ended. I wanna say I had this face, more like, just like, And yeah, this episode has unpleasant imagery. Because every single SpongeBob episode that is bad has unpleasant imagery. And just in case you want to defend this episode, well, all the episodes that I mentioned at the beginning last 11 minutes. Those are 11 minutes of torture, and then you can move on with your life. This is 22 minutes of boring writing and jokes that aren't funny. So 22 minutes of torture, which makes it even more hard to watch. But you know what? After watching SpongeBob drink pickle juice and spit it in the same jar, maybe he did deserve to be fired. This is an opinion I had. I do really think this episode is the lowest of the low, and it's really the worst SpongeBob episode. I shouldn't be so optimistic when saying that. The worst SpongeBob episode. If you also hate this episode, tell me. Or if you hate another, also tell me. This is the Gamer Girls, and I say, at least the show got better after this.